Sanding curved edges and profiles has never been easier.
Looks like a sanding drum kit, Vince.
That's right, Dennis. Today we've got two sanding drum kits from Klesko. We've got the 2-inch kit and the 3-inch kit.
And why would I want one over the other, perhaps?
Well, the 3-inch gives you a little more capacity if you're sanding wide boards, wide pieces.
Okay.
But really, the kits are more or less identical. You get a series of sanding drums. With the 2-inch kit, you get 4 different diameters. And with the 3-inch kit, you only get 3. So I actually prefer the 2-inch kit just because it gives you a little wider range of radii. That you can sand. Yes. You also get a series of sanding sleeves with each kit. So you'll have 3 grits for each diameter, coarse, medium, and fine.
Okay.
And that allows you to either, hog off material fairly quickly or do finish sanding.
How does it work?
Well, essentially, each drum is just a rubber cylinder, and then a bolt will pass through that drum. So you just take a sanding sleeve and slip it over the drum.
Okay.
Just like that. And then by tightening this nut on the end, it expands the rubber drum so that it grips that sleeve and holds it in place while you're sanding. So then you just chuck it up in either a hand drill, or I like to use them on a drill press, and you can start sanding.
So it's a way to get just a little bit more use out of your drill press.
Right. It essentially turns your drill press into a spindle sander, which, a spindle sander is a nice tool to have, but they're expensive and takes up extra space to have another tool in the shop. So it's a way to get double duty out of your drill press.
Right. Are you going to show me how it works?
I bet you want to see how they work, don't you? Yeah. Why don't we head over to the drill press and fire it up?
All right. Well, it looks like you got it chucked up, Vince. Walk me through it.
Yeah, so in order to use these sanding drums, you need to mount an auxiliary table to your drill press. And it needs to have a hole in the center so that you can drop the sanding drum just below the surface. So I'll lower that and then lock the quill in place here. And the reason for that is so that you can sand the edge of a workpiece and sand the entire edge. Having that drum just below the surface allows you to do that.
What speed are you going to run this at?
That's a good question. Typically, you want to run these between 1 and 2,000 RPM. The larger diameters, you'll run at the lower speeds. The one thing you don't want to do is run them too fast.
And why is that?
That's because it creates friction and heat, which then can lead to burning of the workpiece. So you want to avoid running them much over 2,000 RPM.
Okay.
So as far as using it, there's just a few things to keep in mind. The first is that you want to feed in the opposite direction that the drum is rotating. So the drum's moving this way, I'm going to feed the workpiece this way. Second thing is don't use too much pressure. These are made really for light sanding. So just use gentle pressure. Let the sandpaper do the work. Don't force it into the drum, in other words. And then the most important thing is to make sure you always keep the workpiece moving. You don't want to stop in one spot, because if you do that, it leaves a divot in your workpiece.
Oh, of course. Right. Good information.
So that's what I do for sanding inside curves. It works great for doing any kind of scroll work or concave curves like this.
But you got something else in mind. I can see it.
Yes, I do. I got another trick up my sleeve here. You can use these sanding drums to make your drill press into a mini thickness sander. And in order to do that, all you need is a simple fence like this one.
Well, I see you've got the fence mounted to the table, Vince. What's next?
Right. This fence is adjustable so that you can move it up real close to the sanding drum. And the idea here is that you take your resawn workpiece that you want to sand and just pass it along the fence behind the sanding drum to remove just a slight amount of material. Then you move the fence a little bit closer to the sanding drum, take a second pass, and just keep repeating that until you bring the workpiece down to the final thickness.
Kind of like a drum sander, huh?
Exactly, right.
Get that? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. You know what else I really like about these sanding drum kits?
What's that?
They're made in America.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
It's always good to hear. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out at thewoodsmithstore.com.